Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV.
Mhm.
This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Love that lipstick.
Thank you.
We've been talking about finding your passion, and today we're going to find out what area to find our passion in today. We want you to know that we would like you to sit back, relax, and if you are able, take a few notes. Coach Caren is always dropping nuggets. Coach Caren comes to us all the way from Toronto, Canada. And she's here as our money mindset coach to help you get your money straight. So, without further ado, I introduce to some, present to others, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada.
I like how you say it.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm fantastic. Oh my gosh. Guys, last month we talked about passion.
Mhm.
I've got about 9 things that we rarely dive into, but we did 5 here, but usually I think about 4, but it's about 9 of them that we're going to cover, and it's included in the group program that's coming. So today we're talking about purpose. And it's so important that you understand your passion and then understand your purpose. And in the purpose, for the next 5 weeks, we're going to be talking about motives, motivation, your ground, and
Mm.
your cause. And in the cause, we will talk about a few more things. And all these stuff is important. One of these mornings, watching a TikTok, and this lady were talking about, understanding. No, sorry, in my mistaken bookkeeping group, and she's talking about being able to understand your passion,
Mhm.
know your purpose, but know what season you're in. And what she's really saying is, here is where I am. This is what I want to do with myself. This is what I really want to do with myself. But my business is not flourishing because I didn't pay attention. She didn't say that, but that's what the post is telling people that
Mhm.
they're paying attention. I didn't pay attention. Good morning, Doc. I didn't pay attention to these things about me, my passion, my purpose, and how myself, before I even touch my business, is going to benefit from it. Now, and life is going to hit you and things are going to happen. But when you have these things that you have put in place, you
Mhm.
got them to go back to. If I'm stumbling on something and sometimes I'm really trying my hardest, I get up. You guys know I dance, I take a breath. But I always come back to the desk saying, Karen, why are you fussing about it? Because all you got to do is pray about it. Like, that's all you
Mm.
got to really
Mm.
do.
Yes.
And then release, because you can actually do it. It's not hard. It's not difficult. You have put the pressure on you to make it difficult. Because if you know your passion and your purpose, regardless of what's happening, and I know it's going to be hard, I know it's going to pull you down, but you go back to those things. And then you look into, as we're going to talk about today, what motivates you, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
Purpose. What motivates you? Purpose covers a multitude of things. And so I tell you what it covers, but we are going to look at what motivates you. Before we get into that, I'm going to talk about a noun and I'm going to talk about a verb. I like doing this because it just gets you thinking about it further than just the word, right? Noun says the reason for which something is done or created, for which something exists. Purpose. And the verb, which is the doing word, have as one's intention or objective. God has allowed suffering, even make it on purpose. Because sometimes when you in sufferation land, sufferation season, you are, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Why is this happening to me? I mean, it could, in a word you want to say, it could happen to anybody else, but leave me out. And it's happening to you because it's part of your process in your purpose.
Mm.
Pain is hard, but pain also give you so much more than you can ever imagine. Nobody wants it. I agree. We're
Mhm.
human, so we don't want it. But in there, if you were just to get a little tiny bit of clarity, you start seeing, what it's going to bring for you, what's going to bring forward for you. And the lessons don't come all at once. It comes throughout your time, throughout your lifespan, throughout your processes. And if you left one business because it wasn't successful and you decided it wasn't my purpose, that lesson that you didn't learn is going to follow you into the new business. You're getting away from it, just let me tell you. And please, we don't have one, we have several. We're multifaceted human beings, so don't get hooked up into that. This was it, so I have nothing more. You do. Okay. But you got to take the lessons and use them.
I like this. I like the idea that sometimes we are running away from one business to another business, thinking it's going to be either easier or it's going to be better or whatever. But if we haven't learned those lessons, then the lesson is still waiting for us within the next business. And I can understand it. It's sort of like relationships or life lessons, money lessons. If you don't learn it, then you still have to go through the process to learn what it is that you need to know.
Exactly.
Repeat it.
Exactly. I know my purpose in life was business. Like I knew it, and I fought it when I was earlier in different ways. And I remember when I had one of my biggest hurtings, like I had a lot of them. But when I lost $100,198.91, the number will never leave my mind because I know it's a T. I was depressed for a full year. I barely function. I function in the sense of I have my mom and my sisters. I get the house clean. And once everybody left, I curled up with a book and I read to my heart content. When I wasn't reading, I was sleeping. If somebody knocked on the door, I'm not answering the door because I really don't want to entertain. I don't want to speak to nobody. And I am a social butterfly. So people were coming to my mom's door wanting to know what is going on. And they were telling her something is wrong with Caren. You need to take her to the doctor. And I didn't know this was happening, mind you. But I was totally. So it was happening when I was 18. So from 18 to 19 was just a blur. I did absolutely nothing for that whole year. I turned 19 and I was like, and my friends wanted to throw me a party and carry me out. I'm like, for what? I didn't want to go anywhere. I felt like it was over. I spent all this time learning, understanding, growing a business, growing my monies, and then it all went away without explanation. I felt like it no warning. It was just this thing. And then my mom says, well, you're going to have to just get a job because if you're going to be here, you're going to have to get a job. If you're not going to do business, you're going to have to get a job.
Wow. Okay.
You ain't hanging around no more. And she found me a babysitting job. It was horrible. She was like, and the child was a little spoiled brat. But she was like, you're going to go work. You're going to do something. You know. Ain't good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It was all good. Because she pushed me out. Because she made it difficult that if I didn't work, I wouldn't really have shelter. She had to. She just had to wake me up, you know, and send out the supports to see me through it. Really, when I look back, that's what it was. It was just a support chain of people. But I didn't see them as support. I didn't see them as pulling me out. I saw them as my enemy. They're disturbing my reading, my peace, so that I can lie down and die. Leave me alone. Let me tell you, working in your purpose ain't easy, okay? I understand. So when you're working in your purpose, you know, the questions to ask yourself, what is special to you?
Okay.
Some are hidden and some are obvious. And the hidden ones is the ones that people see that you can't see. Okay. The ones that's obvious, sometimes they're obvious, but they're not obvious to you. I get it. But you have to, we always say about Terry, you and I, you know, we say this a lot about sitting quiet and finding what that is for you and how you work in it. But
Yes.
today we're really looking at what motivates you to do it. And my motivation, I brought up that story because my motivation come back from me going and looking at that, babysitting that child. It
Mhm.
motivated me to get up and going, to get cracking, to get moving. And even the people that I worked for just had loved me to pieces. So I got there like, this is not for you, Caren. So how could we help? Let me tell you, when God is moving things, he moves things. How can we help? It was a good job, Terry. It was a job
Uh-huh.
where we had a driver. The driver picked me up from my home, took me to the place, picked me up back, bring me. I wasn't suffering, but I was whining like I was suffering. And I was complaining when I did move myself back and restart my business. I think it wasn't a year later that I lost not a bunch of money because I
Mhm.
didn't pay attention to what our lesson taught me. First
Mhm.
thing, I wasn't checking on the money when it was growing. I wasn't paying attention. And when I lost the second set of money, I realized I went back into that same habit, not paying attention. I was making, but I wasn't paying attention. I just left it alone. And you got to pay attention to your money. I don't care where you have it. You need to look at it. Whether it's in a bank account because you need liquid asset, you need to check your bank account and see what's going on. Or whether it's an investment, you need to be on that investment to go see what's going on. If somebody's handling it, you need to have information from it to know what's going on. When you run your business, you have to be able to understand your numbers. I don't care if you didn't
Mhm.
like math in school. You need to understand your numbers to know what's going on because part of your motivation, I don't like money. You better like money. Part of your motivation is that your business is making you money. Part of your
Mhm.
motivation is understanding that you're being paid for the works you're doing, the time you're putting in. Unless you have money coming in somewhere else. When you start a business and it makes you no money,
Mhm.
inside of you start quivering, no matter your purpose, quivering and doesn't want to continue. It show up
Mhm.
in procrastination form. It show up in forms of, people in buying from you. You'll say to yourself, but you're not doing the work so people can buy from you. And it agitates you. And then you leave it and do something else. And you say, well, maybe that was my purpose.
Uh-huh.
But it's not true. You start falling off because somewhere else might be giving you the money, or you need so much of it that this specific thing at the moment is not giving you as much as you need. This is why
Mm.
when I teach business 101, I say to people, I want you to start a business that's going to pay you money, not a year later,
Yes.
within the month.
Mm.
The next 2 months. I don't care if it's 1%, like Profit First, the book, he talks about the 1%. I never put it as percentage, but when I sit down and discuss whatever is the business and we brain dump and we get it straight now, I always go into how much money you want to make and how is this business going to make you the money
Mhm.
while you're working in your passion and your purpose. Like, how is it going to do this for you? I don't want you to be starving because when you starve your brain from understanding, because I talk money, when you starve your brain from getting that, what happens? You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it like somebody who's losing weight. They don't want to do it because it's hard as hell,
It's,
especially if it's not something you've been doing. It's
mhm.
hard. Look,
Yes.
I just started running and rainfall and all kind of stuff, and I haven't gone back for like a week or so. And so I know for next week, it's going to be hard to get back into it. That's just the truth. It's hard. Even when you're working in your passion and your purpose, it is hard. So you need to get a sticker, that notebook, that visual to help with your motivation, especially in the beginning.
Mm.
Because we're excited when we plan and we have a goal, but it's the day-to-day that kills us out. The what we're supposed to do, especially when you're coming from a job environment. You know, something else that people don't realize. If you were making, I'm gonna go to the bare minimum, I don't know, 15, $20 an hour at your job,
Mhm.
and you realize that your business can pay you, even though I don't like by the hourly, I usually have to talk about that to people to bring them into the project situation. And you start making $25 an hour or $15 an hour, let's say. Everybody gets excited when it first happened, but we self-sabotage ourselves and we don't notice because we start with disbelief. I can't believe I could make $50 an hour. It sounds nice, right?
Mhm.
And then you tell a lot of people I'm making $50 an hour, and then you keep reminding yourself, and then some part of you start saying you can't make $50 an hour. And it doesn't say to you, you can't make it. This is the sneaky part. You know, I talk about the sneaky lies. It doesn't
Yeah.
say to you, you can't make it. But it tells you, you don't really need to get up at 5 anymore. I mean, we're doing good. Or it says to you, you know, you don't have to really cook dinner. I mean, you got enough money. So, you know, you're spending the money that you have. So I can just
Mhm.
buy food. It says to you, but I mean, why can't you just treat the girls? You are self-sabotaging yourself. This is not that you mustn't do these things. But when you do them with the new earned income, you are sabotaging you from
Mm.
thinking you can do it. You see, when you do that, your motivation start taking a dip, but you don't notice.
Wow.
You don't notice it's a psychology. This thing's happening in your psyche. You don't even notice until you notice.
You don't even notice until you notice. That's good. Wow. Wow. I never thought of that. Because basically it's the same thing that you would do in your personal life. Um, if you were to come into a lot of money, if you're used to not having money, you start giving it away. You start doing things to get rid of it because you're not familiar with it. Hmm. Mm. Wow.
Slows you right down.
And we
Slows
do
you
the
right
same
down.
thing in our business.
Yeah. Bring you back to part one. Bring you and then you're changing. You know, if it gets really bad, you're like, well, this business really wasn't working out for me. This
Mhm.
really is probably I wasn't working in my purpose. I think that's what it is. But you learn the lesson, so you open a second business and you do the same thing. And you're like, this girl over here been talking about 7 businesses. How is she running it when I can't even keep my one business straight? She went through the pain and the hurt and the feeling of debilitating when you feel like you can't do anymore. This is a feeling that you must pass through. It's called the grit. You gotta feel this feeling. Don't throw it away. You gotta feel this feeling. And you got to be in the feeling, and then you got to don't run away. Step away. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4. Do not run away. If you run away, you're going to run right back into it. When you feel this feeling, you got to feel it first, and then you ask yourself, what is the next move? And you do that move. If that move for you is just a drink of water, go drink a glass of water. If that move is just to get up and move yourself, do it. If that
Mhm.
move is a movie, go do it. Because God is so funny. It's so good. When you watch the movie, you're going to get a message in that movie for what's the next step. If you're paying attention, you're
Oh.
going to get a message in the movie, or somebody might call you, or you might read something or see something. And you
Mhm.
get back to it. But that's because you stay in what's happening. Most people want to run.
Yeah.
But maybe if I post more, maybe if I talk to Jane, it's like when I'm coaching somebody who is having a really difficult time, I know they want to leave. They want to leave, but I'm helping them get past, get through, move to the next step. But I want them to feel it enough so they don't feel it this harsh the next time around. Because
Mhm.
the pain just builds. It just builds itself in a new form. What do you call it? You know, when something
It
is small
trans
and it keep expanding, almost like, you know, the spray foam. What spray foam? When you spray the foam and you see it start doing this. That happens in us, but we don't notice that it's happening. And we so desperately want to move forward that
Mhm.
we're not seeing that this foam is expanding and squeezing us into the corner.
Mm.
And it really truly makes you feel like you're either not walking in your passion or in your purpose anymore. Because if you are, how could this be this difficult? How could this be so hard? Here's
Wow.
another little story for you. There's this lady, she came from Croatia, and she wanted to open, she had this dream that she wanted to open a coffee shop.
Okay.
And she didn't know how she was going to come to Canada. She had no idea how this is going to be happening, but she knew it was going to happen in her country and was going to happen here.
Okay.
And she, not a hairdresser, by the way, she never run a coffee shop, but she said the dream and the feeling was so encompassing that she said this was going to happen in her life. So she's telling her husband. And over time, it didn't happen overnight. They had the chance to come to Canada. And when she got here, she was walking down Young Street and looking at all the buildings and shopping. She told her husband, as they got past and get into more like residential but still shopping area, she said to him, and that's where it's gonna be. And he said to her, people live there. What are you talking about? You really need to stop with this stupid dream that you had way before you even met me. Like, just let it go. And so slowly but surely, she got a job, she went to school, and she wouldn't talk to him about it, but it wouldn't leave her heart. So she decided to save money. She started looking into finances and what have you, and she got into a program, and she decided she's going to open a salon. She's going to go to school, learn to do hair, and open a salon.
Okay.
This is 8 years later, and the property went on sale. She bought the property. She opened a salon. I'm going to cut the story short. She opened a salon. She had like a coffee bar where people come in and have coffee, and eventually she starts selling coffee. And she said she's watching her dream come into fruition. But, she and her husband started having difficulties. And so now she's got to fight it. And part of her is like, if you sell the salon and get rid of this place, you guys' marriages could work, because this is what causing the stress. And she said she sat in that and she said to him, listen, I will give you the house that we have if that's what you want, but I'm not selling my salon. She didn't. And he got the house, and she got to live there. He said she could stay there. Cut a story short. And she said in those days when that was happening, her clientele went downhill.
Yeah.
She was suffering so that she started questioning if this really was a fantasy, she made it up, or was it really a dream that she got, or God giving she this idea? And what is she helping? What is she really doing? And she came downstairs on the stairs, and she's walking up and down in front of the salon. And a lady stopped her, rested her hand on her shoulder, and said, you're still here. Thank God you're still here. And she's like, for what? She goes, you've helped me through so many times. So many things. Just coming and getting my hair washed for the day was big for me. Talking to you changed me in so many ways. She said, what's going on these days? She said, well, I might have to close it because it's not doing well. And the lady said, what? What are you doing? How are you getting clients in? She said, my son does marketing. I'm going to let him stop by and talk to you. You probably don't know how to sell it right. You know when they get in the chair, but you don't know how to bring them through the door. Chain of effect. She left the sufferation, but she didn't run. She just stepped down the stairs. You see, she had a glass of water, do whatever. She came down the stairs, and she's starting to let go of holding so tight that she's in charge of everything, releasing it, okay? And taking steps down the stairs, walking up and down, and doing anything big. And somebody in her path change it. Now, did he turn the store around overnight? I wanted you guys to hear this. No. But he helped her move the needle. That didn't mean she wasn't working in her purpose. It just meant she lost focus. She'd get herself so entrenched, because I also, that's what the devil or whomever tried to do to you. The marriage is over here fighting to save that. Distract her from her purpose. Distract her from her passion. Because it wasn't his dream. It wasn't his dream.
Okay.
It's not because he couldn't, whatever their story is. I'm not getting into that. But what we have to understand is, I want you to hear this. Whatever happening to you personally affects your business. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, we have to be both sides. We have to understand that when your personal life is in turmoil, it's going to affect your business.
Certainly, yes.
Your job, not the person, not your partner, not your sister, not your mother, is to fix it for you. You have to get yourself, this is mirror work, in front of the mirror and inform you that what's happening in the marriage, what's happening in the relationship is what's happening over there. But your business is your business. Now, this is hard to do. I am not trying to play with you. This is hard to do, but you got to do it. You got to do it. So you have to set yourself. You have to remember what started this business, what motivated you, what gets you going. And you got to place it visually in front of you. If you're auto learner, get it
Mhm.
on repeat on some kind of tape playing until you memorize it. So it's in your head and why you're doing it. For me, when I was in college, I stick it up all over my mirror. I stick it up in the kitchen, all the cupboards. I stick it up in my bedroom. It was over my bed. I remember I had my own struggles. My husband didn't understand why college was so big for me. And so we had our own tug of war, and I would just put it there. Why am I going to college? What's the purpose of me going to college? And if I don't follow the stuff that I went to college for, how would I feel?
Mhm.
And
Mm.
then all the lessons that was hard for me in college. Why am I fighting through it? Like these were things that I literally asked myself, find answers to them, and then stick it up on little sticky pads, little cards. And so it kept me going. So if there was a fight, if there was something happening, I get to finish the fight, not take the fight into my studies, not take the fight into my learnings. You understand? Leave it there and get that done. And the devil's so busy because every minute he's bringing back the fight while I'm studying. He's bringing back the
Yes.
confusion while I study. And that's why I love mirror work, because I get in front of there to inform me why this can't happen. And it takes a
Mm.
lot of trips. Sometimes in one study period, I would get in front of the mirror 5, 7 times, informing me of the situation.
Wow.
That is getting through the grit. And that same goes for your business. Life is going to come at you hard. Business is hard. It's going to come at you so hard that if you think life is hard without a business, you go into business and then you'll understand how life is hard. I'm not saying this to discourage you. It is sweet also. Also, let me not dismiss this part. It is sweet because when you start reaping, it is sweet. When you understand that if you were making $60,000 this year, you can qualify yourself for 120 next year, and you can keep doubling it as long as you want to keep doubling it. This is possible. And at every level, there are going to be new grits to get through. There are going to be new stoppages. There are going to be more things asking you, why are you still motivated to do what you started? And you got to know why. And you got to go fight constantly for that why. As we say, instead of why.
Wow. So you're going to have to fight for your purpose. Mm. Wow, coach. I don't know what to say.
It's just not handed on a platter, as people like to tell you. In 7 days you're going to do this, and if you hanging around, you took a program and they tell you that, and you're like, why am I not doing it? Understand, there's a lot of things inside of you that you haven't sorted out yet. Figure out, fight through, and get past. And if you have, you think you have, they're coming back up, and so you can get to like, but this would only take me 10 minutes to actually write this blog. What are you talking about? Then you get a pen and paper, but you can't write anything down. Well, I always say to people, write what you're feeling at the moment. Don't worry about the blog. Write what you're feeling at the moment, because you're dumping it out of you. Write it out. Paper, pen, whatever you need. Write it out on the paper, what is bothering you. Somebody came through the door and upset you. Or your kids could have put things back in its place, and now you're walking and you're stumping your toe on it. And it irritates you because it frustrates you, because yesterday your supervisor asked you to do 200 whatever and you didn't want to do it. Write it out. Get it out so that you can get back to your business. Because sometimes it's not even a relationship. It's your kids, is at work, if you're still at your job, all that sort of thing. Get it out of the way so that you can focus in on what you want to do. When people say I work 2 hours a night or in the morning before I go to work on my business, sometimes all they're doing is dumping stuff out. They're not actually doing anything. So, when they understand that they're dumping enough, then all they might see that all they need is 3 days a week and not 5, or they need 4 days and not 7, but you got to get this stuff out of here. So I just want you guys to know, if you're working in your passion and purpose, it doesn't make it easy, but it makes it easier, because you're working in the things that's supposed to do. So it makes it easier.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin. Before we go, I want to ask you one thing. How do we make it easier?
But you make it easier by understanding and really believing in you that you can do this. You make it easier by really believing in you. And if you know nothing else, right is right. I believe in me.
Mhm.
And then you write at the bottom, I am. And that I am, follow all the things that you do well. I am brave, I am bold, I'm rich, I live in abundance, and all those sort of things that just help pump you up. And once you say it a few times, now you can say it like running, or say it and move yourself. Like, bring in that energy that makes you feel really good about yourself. Believing in ourselves is such a big thing that sometimes we play down, but it's really, really big. When you believe you can do it, you can do anything. I
Mhm.
made a wedding dress. I was never trained in that, just regular. And a lady sent a woman to me to make her a wedding dress. And I said to the lady, I never make any wedding dresses. I don't know if you want me to do it. And she says, I heard you're a designer and I like you and I believe in you. And here's the fabric and this is what I want. I remember that day. My mom said to me, she said, Caren, girl, I would have been giving her back her fabric. I don't know what's wrong with you. So I believe I can do it. She think I can do it. 6 weeks later, wouldn't you know, Terry, the lady went away with her wedding dress. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
She believed, I believe, we designed it. I made it. She tried it on a few times. We fixed, we jammed. She looked stunning. She was happy. I was happy. I don't know if I want to sew another wedding dress, but
I hear you.
I did it.
But the mission was accomplished.
You gotta believe. You got to believe in yourself. You gotta.
Wow. Well, guys, with that, I just want to remind you that Coach has been talking to us about finding our passion. And one of the things, one week we talked about finding it in community service,
Mm-hmm.
and we found it in relationships, and we found it, so your passion is fed by all of these things around us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't catch it in the previous broadcast, you want to go to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and follow this teaching about your passion. Because if you are in business or if you are just living life, you need to know why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why am I doing all of this?
Yeah. It'll help you.
Mhm, mhm. So with that, I want to remind you, if you guys are looking for Coach Caren, you can find her at Profits in Daily everywhere on
Mm-hmm.
the web.
Yep.
Coach Caren Fern, Profits in Daily. And Coach is telling us that she's going to have a program coming up soon. You want to set aside some monies for training so that you can attend this course. And we want to remind you that BizChicks is here every morning, same time, same place. We're here Monday through Friday to help you take the hassle out of your hustle. And if you're looking to join the BizChicks community, please text Biz to 33777 and become a part of the Heartbeat community. When you're there, you're in the right place. We do provide trainings in that circle. So just come on over and get some more information on how to run a profitable business.
That's
It's
fun to
fun.
run.
Fun to run. You can also find us on bizchicks.net. And in the meantime, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. Thank you again, Coach.
You're
We
welcome.
love you, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
California's Private Attorneys General Act is broken.